Hey everybody, welcome back to Thanks for Asking. It's a podcast where we answer questions. So today's question is
Just to pause you right now, I haven't clap started any of these, and I also have not described what the podcast is in any of these intros. We're falling apart, and it's okay. Continue.
um now I'm lost. Anyways, today we're going to talk about dreams. So the question of the hour or of the next 14 minutes
Yeah.
is what's the weirdest dream you've ever had, and then we can venture off and talk about dreams because I find them really interesting.
Okay.
And I know that you have multiple dreams and remember them all. And it has to be a super, super, super weird dream or a reoccurring dream for me to remember it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll start just by explaining what she just said. I think for the first like multiple years of me growing up, maybe until maybe like a year and a half ago, I didn't remember most of my dreams. It was like once a month I would remember a dream. And then starting about a year and a half ago, every single night I wake up and I remember something about the dream that I had. Every single night.
So
like
crazy.
without fail. And I don't know why, but that's what happens. But to answer the original question, the weirdest dream I've ever had, I'll tell you about a recurring one that I had
Oh, you have a recurring one?
when I was maybe between like 8 and 11. I had one every couple months. And what would happen was it would be usually me and my dad, sometimes me and both my parents, sometimes me and someone else. We'd be walking down the street somewhere in Toronto and see this building across the street that was like the shape of a staircase.
Okay.
So every single time,
Hello?
I'm overwhelmed.
Should we answer?
No?
She got it.
Anyway, wow.
That was amazing. Anyways, you see a staircase building.
Yeah, okay. Every single time it would start the same way. We'd be walking down the street, we'd see a building shaped like a staircase, and I would always go, let's go in. I want to know what that building is. It looks so interesting. Let's do it. So you'd go into the front door, and the actual building would lead you like downstairs instead. Like the upstairs part was like offices or whatever, so it was like that was out of like unaccessible. But then the downstairs was open to the public, and it was like the shape of the building. It was like the width was like it was like a mall hallway, but it like spiraled down, and it would be flat, and then it would have a staircase going down, and then flat, and then a staircase, and then flat, and then a staircase. So it was just like it would just go underground, and it was like this big shopping center sort of thing. But every single time there was a staircase, the bottom step would get further and further and further and further away from the ground. So eventually, as you kept going down, you wouldn't be able to get back out. And it was terrifying.
Dude, that has to have some psychological meaning
And
behind
I
it.
had the same dream four or five times, like different occasions with different people, same building, same everything. We'd be going downstairs, and I would get to a certain point and realize we were stuck and we couldn't get out, and then you have to try to find your way out. And usually, I think like the third time I had it, I realized I was dreaming and I could wake myself up.
That's even trippier.
Yeah, so it happened a couple times, and there was one occasion where I was like walking with my dad, and I was like, no, this is a dream. I've had it before. I know how to get out. We just have to pinch ourselves and we'll wake up. And then we pinched ourselves, and we were like transported to the outside of the building, and I was just sitting on a bench waiting for him, and some family came up to me and was like, you look like you're in the Brady Bunch. And I was like, what? And then I woke up. Yeah, so
I feel like that's even trippier is like knowing you're dreaming. I've never had any experience where like I know I'm dreaming.
that I feel like that's the only time I've ever really had it, because it was like the third or fourth time I had the same dream. I was like in the dream, I was like, well, I recognize this.
That's so interesting. You should like try to get that like I wonder what the psychological meaning behind that is.
Dream analysis is so interesting to me, because I feel like
So cool.
it's not actually accurate for most people, but like it could be.
Is this a true fact that like every face you've seen in a dream is like a face you've seen before?
I believe so.
Like because your brain can't conjure up random faces.
I think so, yeah. But I mean, you see so many fucking faces
Like,
every
it could
single
be a
day. Like you
stranger from, like,
pass
your
thousands of
childhood,
people
yeah.
walking down the street and on TV and whatever. It's like, yeah, I feel like that makes sense to me.
Dude, I'm remembering dreams. Like a weird one I had. One time when I was staying at my grandparents, this was like I want to say I was like in grade 9 or grade 10. It was like I was at my grandparents' house. I was sleeping, of course. And I don't really remember how this started, but I was, like, in a cave with, like, me, a bunch of, like, random, like, kids that were, like, my age or younger, and my grandfather was there. And my grandfather was, like, a cantor and a rabbi, so, like, he was, like, dressed in, like, his little suit, and he was, like, a spiffy man. I missed that man. He was, like, really spiffy. He was looking great, and he was, like, such, like, he was a place of wisdom for me, and he was always, like, telling me, like, things are gonna be alright. So I was, like, how are we gonna escape this cave, Grandpa? And he was like, don't worry, like, I have a plan. And basically why we couldn't escape this cave was because there was, like, a flood of chocolate milk, but it, like, had a mind of its own. So, like, it would just come, like, it would know when we would try to leave the cave to get out, and it would, like, follow us. And there was, like, a Scooby-Doo, like, montage in my head of us, like, running, and, like, you could see the tunnel, and the tunnel was, like, curved like this, and it was, like, us running, and, like, the chocolate milk following us. That was one dream that I had. It was super weird. That was one dream that I had. Oh, also part of that dream was, like, there was a girl there from my elementary school who I'd only, like, been to school with her for, like, a year or two before she left to go to a different school, that I really, don't care for her. Her name is Gabby. Like, I'm sure she doesn't remember me, so I don't really care. But she was there, and I remember, like, complaining to my grandpa in the dream. I was like, fucking Gabby. And he was like, it's fine. And then, yeah, I've had I've had 2 reoccurring dreams. I don't remember exactly what ages. I mean, I want to say, like, end of elementary school to, like, beginning of high school was this one, which is, like, I was just with my grandmother in this, like, Asian town. Like, it was, like, it wasn't in modern society. Like, it was, like, little huts and stuff, and, like, people were, like, wearing, like, clothes from olden days and stuff like that. And it was just us straight up just walking, like, silently, like, through this town, just me and my grandma. There was people, and, like, nobody would talk to us. Like, we didn't try to talk to people, but it was just nothing. And there was just a bunch of animals that were just, like, not mutated, but things weren't right. Like, they were just bigger than they should be. So there was, like, a hut, and right next to it was, like, a turtle the same size as the hut.
Oh, weird.
And we were just, like, walking through, just, like, silently walking through, and we get to, like, this dock that just goes straight out super, super long, and there's no railing. Which, things with no railing is, like, I've just realized right now, a big fear for me. Yeah. I don't like that. And we were just walking through, and, like, I would, like, peer over and look into the water, and there was just this massive squid. Huge, like, bigger than the dock, and I would fall in every time.
Oh my god.
And, like, look up and see my grandma on the dock.
Wow.
How creepy is that? And then another dream that I've had, this one was more, like, another reoccurring one that I've had was, I think this was while I was in high school, where I would just be sitting in my room, and, like, or I'd be in my house, and there was just a rabid cat that was attacking me, just chasing me and following me and chasing me and following me, and I would, like, get into my room and, like, close the door, like, my bedroom, and I haven't lived in that house for that long, so it had to be, like, high school age. Get into my room and close that door, and, like, get on my bed, and, like, the cat would somehow get in and, like, jump to attack me, and I would wake up.
Oh my god.
Those are my reoccurring. So the only reoccurring dreams that I've had have been, like, nightmares.
Have you ever had one where your teeth fell out? Because
No, but my mom has.
Whenever I hear about dream analysis, it's like there's very, like, distinct things.
Yeah, like teeth falling.
Or, like,
falling
people
out.
chasing you.
Yeah.
Whatever. And I had never, ever had a dream where my teeth fell out. And I was like, is this a common thing? And then I had one a couple months ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
See,
I had a dream where I was eating mac and cheese and, like, my teeth, like, fell out as I took a bite. And I was like, that's so weird. And then I woke up and I was like, does that mean something?
Yeah. That's exactly what happened to my mom, because I was like, do people really have dreams that their teeth fall out? And then she was like, dude, I had a dream that my teeth fell out. What does that mean? And I Googled it, and I remember
it's supposed to mean that your stress levels are really high or something.
Their stress levels are always high.
I know, like,
I don't know. It's like, I haven't had any dreams that, like, fall under, like a common thing. Like, I had a friend who, like,
all of mine are weird.
She had a reoccurring dream where, like, someone would, like, rob her house.
Oh,
and
no.
she was there. Like, there was, like, an intruder in her house. And I was like, I'm sure people have dreamed about that before, but I've never had anything like that. Like, my dreams have been super weird. I remember one dream from when I was in elementary school was, for some reason, so, like, at the back of my elementary school, there was, like, a tarmac in a field, and they had, like, 3 doors, so it was, like, the little kids, like, the middle kids, and, like, the older kids. And for some reason, there was, like, not, like, an assignment, but a competition where you had to, like, design a bedroom. And you get one part of, like, the back of the school to do it, and I got, like, the mini basketball court, and I remember, like, me and my crush at the time, who was my boyfriend in grade 5, what's up, Ellie, you were in my dream, Ellie Kozak, calling you straight up out, We were like making this bedroom together.
Interesting.
Weird dream that I remember, and that for some reason stuck with me. But I haven't had any like. Those are the ones that I remember.
Okay, completely separate from dreams, but you mentioned like a weird fear of things without railings. I've discovered a weird like, I don't know if it's like a phobia or something that just causes anxiety, but things that are like bigger than they should be. Because it's like, okay, so I saw this picture one time. It was like on Tumblr, this like artsy ass picture. It was black and white. There was this girl in a white dress in the middle of the room, and the train of her dress covered a majority of the floor. And seeing a picture like that, like literally my heart started racing. Like it was giving me like the feeling of fear. And then I was playing this game the other day, and it was like a game that like literally just like on my phone fucking around or whatever. It was like the screen was like enlarged way too much, so each of the boxes seemed like bigger than it should have been, and I physically started getting anxious and I had to close it. And I don't understand what that fear is, and I've tried to look it up and I can't figure it out.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. Like, you know, in cartoons, when they, like in Up, how they draw the old man with, like, the really thick fingers?
Mm-hmm.
I've, like, had nights where I couldn't fall asleep because just the image of a hand that looks like that has been in my head,
Like
and
a
it
real
scares
hand
the
or
shit
his
out of
hand?
me.
Like a real hand or his hand?
No, like a cartoon one.
So, like, you think about his hands and it freaks you out.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
That's
I
so
don't know.
interesting. So, like, if you go to someone's wedding and their train is just, like, long
I
as
feel
hell,
like if it's in real life, it doesn't matter. But when I saw that picture, like, it freaked me
you
out.
out.
Yeah. And I can't understand it. And I've tried Googling it, and I have no answer.
I don't know if I have any, like, out there fears. Like, what's your biggest fear, would you say? This is so off topic of dreams, but I'm really interested in it.
I mean, okay. The easiest way I could say is the fear of falling.
Your cat just got scared by like,
nothing. The easiest way I can describe it is the fear of falling, because I don't have a fear of heights. Like, I'd gladly go ziplining and go to the top of the CN Tower and do all that kind of shit. But it's like...
Skydiving is freaky.
Oh, yeah, I could never. But it's like, once it gets to the point... The actual fear is more just, like, me having to handle my own life and my own safety. So it's like... I'm not comfortable riding bicycles. I'm not comfortable rock climbing. Like, anything where it's like that involves some sort of I'm responsible for my own life right now, I can't. Even going like treetop trekking. I was so bad at it because I was just scared. The whole time.
Yeah, dude. When I was traveling in Jordan with these two girls, they're like, my two friends were like climbing, and I'm like, I'm scared, dude.
Yeah.
So I feel like my fear is dying.
Yeah, I guess.
That's the only thing. And as a person who says I want to die, like, all the time, it's, like, I just, the feel of, like, dying, like, it's not, like, anything, like, heights, like, I don't want to jump out of a plane or anything, but, like, I look out of the plane window, like, I can go up to the top of the CN Tower, it's fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing that I'm, like, this is specifically it, it's just, like, having just everything in.
I don't know. I don't think that's what mine is, because, like, I'm not scared of getting hit by a car. Like, it's just, I don't know, like, when I think about, like, oh, people die, like, that's not something that scares me. It's just, if I'm in a situation where I'm the one who has to keep myself up, I can't do it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Also, like, this is another fear, but I feel like it's very, like, fucking, I don't know how to describe it. It's, like, the fear of, like, just me never accomplishing anything in life and
wow, that's
living in
real.
this town and never moving and like having my kids go to the high school that I went to and just like everything in this small community that I kind of despise.
Yeah, I feel
like that's so like faux and like I just like want to be big, but like it's like I'm just not happy.
No, my current like main cause of stress is the thought that like I won't end up getting enough money to like get my own place and do my own thing, and it's like,
oh boy,
I need it.
But the thing is, for me, I'm sure you can't relate. Like, a lot of the time, I'm like, I just want to move out and have my own place.
Mm-hmm.
But then sometimes I'm, like, thinking about it, and sometimes I'm like, I really am not ready to move out. Like, I'm not ready to live on my own. I'm kind of scared to live on my own.
Yeah.
I don't want a roommate, but I don't want to be by myself. Like, I don't want to live with a random person, because
yeah.
that's uncomfortable for me. But, like, I don't want to just move into my apartment. Like, I think about it, and I'm like, I would want to be by myself. But then I have times where I'm like, I would just be scared. Like, could you... I feel like I would never leave my apartment. Because I barely leave my home for, like, many reasons. Like, it's, like, I don't want to spend money. I don't want to go out.
Yeah.
But it's, like, also, it's, like, I don't want to, like, always host people. I don't know.
I can't wait to live on my
I
own.
just be lonely.
I want to be on my own so bad.
Are you not scared of being lonely?
No.
I mean,
I'm an only child, so I've been
okay.
Probably just how I grew up. Like, I'm super comfortable by myself. I could easily, like, if my parents wanted to go away for a week, I could easily spend a week here by myself and be totally comfortable with it. But they would never do that because my mom would be terrified to leave me alone.
I can move in. For the week they're gone.
That wouldn't be a terrible idea.
You just bit my toe!
Hey!
Little stinker.
What a rude boy.
He didn't, like, really bite it. He was just trying to play, I guess, but
Yeah.
fuck off, dude. I'm busy. Anyways, so dreams.
I did have one recently, but I'll tell you about it off camera because it's hilarious and weird.
I'm so ready. I never, like, this is another thing. I always want to dream about something that, like, I can't make happen in real life. Like, if I'm like, this boy's hecka cute. Let's dream about it tonight.
It'll never
And then
happen.
I wake up and it's like, I don't remember anything.
Yep. Just kidding.
So,
Anyway, thanks for watching. Tune in next Wednesday. Thanks.
yippee-ki-yay.
Bye.